So for the last week, I've been testing out not one but two pairs of wireless earbuds. We've got the Powerbeats and the fresh new One More ANC Pros. Now these don't count as true wireless earbuds because the two buds are actually connected via a skinny wee cable, or in the case of the One More, you actually get a proper neckband with it as well. And a lot of people might prefer this design to proper true wireless earbuds as well, because it's a bit more secure. If one of the buds comes out of your ear while you're down the gym, pounding the pavement, whatever, it'll just flop around your neck instead of going flying off under a car or down a drain or something. Of course, these things are still pretty pricey. The One More ANC Pros will cost you 145 quid here in the UK. The Powerbeats are actually slightly more affordable at 130 quid. And since I've been testing both of them out this past week, I thought I'd give you a 2-for-1 review and also a comparison between them so you can decide which one might be best for you. And for one of the latest greatest tech, please do subscribe and ding that notifications bell. Cheers. Now first up, if you're a sucker for design and especially vibrant colours, then you might prefer the Powerbeats. They come in a choice of black, white or red, whereas with the One Mores you've just got one choice, black. And the Powerbeats also have these proper handles or grips or whatever you want to call them, so when you slip them on there, they definitely feel a lot more secure than the One Mores, which don't have that attachment. So yeah, if you've got more active lifestyle, then the Powerbeats will probably suit you more. That said, the One More ANC Pros never felt like they would pop out even if I was doing something like a bit of jogging, bit of dancing, bit of moshing. And when you want to take a break, the One Mores have the added bonus that the buds actually clasp together magnetically, like so, and then because you've got that neckband, they just dangle there nice and comfy, don't feel like they're going to slip off. Unfortunately, however, sticking the buds together like so does not automatically pause your music like it did on the likes of the OnePlus Bullet. That's kind of a shame. You'll have to remember to pause it yourself, otherwise your battery will just continue to drain like it did for me a couple of times. Unfortunately, the Beats are a lot less secure when you aren't actually using them. They don't stick together magnetically or anything, they just kind of dangle there, and if you are moving around, they do tend to slip to one side and then you have to sort of rearrange them. It's quite annoying. Your only option really is to kind of tie them together to form a kind of Beats necklace. And more good news for you active people as well, because both the Powerbeats and the One More ANC Pros are water and sweat resistant as well, so no worries if you are doing a bit of jogging, even in a light drizzle, they'll be absolutely fine. No problems with connectivity either. Both of them support Bluetooth 5 as you'd kind of hope from a more pricey pair of headphones in 2020, and I had no issues with pairing them up with my smartphone. Just turn them on, they popped right up in the Bluetooth menu there on my smartphone no matter what I was using, or you can also use their respective apps to get them connected too. And with One More ANC Pros, you even get a Type-C to 3.5mm cable bundled in the box as well, so you don't even have to rely on that Bluetooth connection. You can actually get them hooked up to your smartphone or whatever, as long as of course you have a headphone port. Now on the One More Pro ANCs, you do of course have built-in controls, but you'll find that they are all clustered around the left arm of the neckband. It's a pretty comprehensive set of controls, but frankly it is also a bit of a mess. You do eventually get used to which button is which, but for a while you'd be kind of fumbling around trying to remember which one's the power, which one's the ANC, and so on. Here on the Powerbeats, you don't have as many buttons. You've actually, in fact, only got 3 in total, but they perform much the same functionality as the One Mores, and at least the buttons are spread between the left and the right bud. You've got the big Beats button over on the right bud, and you can use this to either pause or play your music, and you can also skip through your tracks with a double or triple tap. And on the right bud, you'll also find the separate volume controls, while the left bud holds the power button. Nice and straightforward. And here on the Powerbeats, you've also got full Hey Siri support if you want to call up that iPhone voice assistant without actually touching anything. Otherwise, all you got to do is long press that Beats button and that'll also call up your phone assistant. Here on the One More ANC Pros, you're also supposed to be able to call up your voice assistant with a quick tap of that power button, as long as you're connected to the One More app. As you can see here though, I'm tapping that button and sweet FA is happening on the phone, even though I've got that One More connected app up and I've got the firmware fully upgraded. Hopefully that's just because this is a pre-release review unit. Maybe an update will be happening in the next week or two to add that functionality. If I manage to get it working, I'll update in the description. Now speaking of that One More app, it is very straightforward stuff. It doesn't really do much beyond tell you the battery life to the nearest sort of 10% and also allow you to turn on that noise cancellation, upgrade the firmware, and that's pretty much it. But to be fair, the Beats app is just as basic. As you can see there, you once again get a battery life readout, this time to the nearest percent, and it seems fairly accurate on that one. You can explore your product features, basically like an online manual type thing, rename your Beats, and that's pretty much it again. Definitely no equalizers or other snazzy special features to speak of. So let's move on to the actual audio side of things, and I felt that the One More ANC Pros certainly impressed me in terms of their technical prowess. They've got full LDAC support on there, so as long as you've got a smartphone that also supports LDAC, you can get some really nice, crisp, clear audio. It just helps to bring through some of those finer details that might otherwise be lost in compression with a pair of less quality headphones. Meanwhile, the Powerbeats use the AAC codec, of course, because it's Apple, and while it's not as technically impressive, I still found that the audio quality was absolutely solid on the Powerbeats. You still get all of those finer details coming through. The stereo effect is really, really good indeed, and it doesn't matter if you're into a bit of bass or you're really all about that treble. I found that the full range was well represented by both the One Mores and the Powerbeats. In fact, that's one area where Beats has actually started to impress me in the last year or two. Back in the day, Beats used to be all about the bass, no treble, but these days they do actually cover the full range. They don't drown out the rest of the sound with the so what you get is a much more even slice of audio, and of course it's better suited to a full range of genres rather than just your usual hip-hop, dance, etc. However, while watching video, I did find that with the Powerbeats, occasionally the audio was a little bit off. Sometimes it sounded a little bit echoey while I was watching something on Netflix, and occasionally the voice seeker was just ever so slightly off as well. Hopefully just little issues that'll be sorted out in a firmware upgrade really, really shortly. Now, if you go on a lot of business trips or holidays, or let me rephrase that, if you plan on going on a lot of business trips or holidays in the future when everything returns to something that's a less apocalyptic, then you probably want to get involved with One More ANC Pros, because as the name kind of gives away, they've got full active noise cancellation support. With just a quick tap of this little button here, you can cycle between the two different levels of ANC. You've got level 1, which is best suited to planes, trains, anything with a constant low rumble. You've got level 2, which is best suited to just a cafe or a general outdoor area where you've got a lot of sort of background noise and chatter, and then you've got ANC off. I gotta say, I didn't personally notice a lot of difference at all between level 1 and level 2 of the ANC, but I was very impressed indeed by the effectiveness. The general noise isolation is pretty good with the One Mores anyway, just when you bung them in your lug holes, but then turn on that ANC and suddenly people talking, that noise gets reduced, sort of traffic going by, that gets reduced, everything becomes a lot more quiet and tranquil and serene, and it's just lovely, like you're in your own personal little bubble, and everything that's happening in the world can just right off. And you've even got a wind resistant mode here on the One More ANC Pros as well, which is supposed to help out if you're trying to listen to audio on a blustery day. You get that kind of mic distortion effect or anything like that. To be honest, again, personally, I tried using it on a windy day. It didn't seem to do that much. Just the ANC in general is absolutely spot on. Here on the Powerbeats, unfortunately, there is no ANC to speak of, and the noise isolation is still pretty decent, although not quite as strong as the One Mores, despite the fact that you've got basically the same style of silicone tips. So if you want to do a lot of traveling in the future with your earbuds, definitely check out those One Mores. And good news if you're a popular guy or gal, you take a lot of phone calls as well, because the call quality of both the Powerbeats and the One Mores is really, really good. I found the other person's voice came through nice and clear, as long as obviously the reception was good. And both the Powerbeats and the One Mores have external mics as well to help to filter out environmental noise, so you come through nice and clear as well. It wasn't perfect on either of them. They performed about the same, and apparently my voice came through nice and clear even when I was stood right next to a gushing tap, a really busy road, anything like that. But apparently of the two, the One More was the better performer again. I think my voice came through nice and natural and clear. Actually sounded like I was there in person, instead of my voice coming through all sort of filtery with that sort of electronic distortion, which was apparently the case with the Beats. And let's finish up with the battery life. And the Powerbeats Pro come with an estimated battery life of 15 hours on a full charge, but I found that was actually underselling them. I actually personally got closer to 20 hours. As for the One Mores, well, they come with a quoted life of 20 hours, and that's more or less accurate unless you start using the active noise cancellation and that LDAC codec as well, in which case the battery life drops by about half, so you can expect around 10 hours of use on a full charge. But the good news is that both the Powerbeats and the One Mores support fast charging, so you can get a full hour of use with just 5 to 6 minutes at the plug. So that's definitely great if you forget to charge them before you head off in the morning for your commute. Well, in the future when you do commuting again. And that right there is how the One More ANC Pros stack up against the Powerbeats. I've got to say, the One Mores are my favourite of the two. They're only £15 more expensive, but you get that active noise cancellation, which is fantastic. The full LDAC support as well. And I personally prefer that neckband design as well for when they're not actually in use. And that said, if you want something for hitting the gym or something like that, the Powerbeats will definitely do the job with those awesome ear grips. The sound quality is still fantastic, and I have very few qualms with the overall design and functionality. So that's what I think, but what do you think? Definitely be great to hear your thoughts down in the comments below. Please do subscribe, ding that notifications bell, and have yourselves a lovely week. Cheers!